1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. Joining me is Matt Verderame of Fanside, its NFL division, the head of it all. Matt, yesterday it comes out an ESPN report, another incident here involving the Patriots. Tell us exactly what you took into this newest Patriots cheating scandal.
Well, to me, it's just, it's more of an indictment of the Belichick era. It's another brick in a very sad foundation, really, with New England. To me, does it tarnish their 4 Super Bowls? Yeah, certainly, to some extent. And you have to ask yourself, how much of it is the fact that they're just a very talented team and a very, a very deserving team because of those talents, and how much is it because they've had an illegal upper hand? And I think the worst part of it for me was when you read that they were stealing play sheets and trying to get playbooks out of team hotels. That kind of stuff is just so egregious. It was fairly eye-opening.
What did you make? Who looks worse in this? Do the Patriots look worse in this for the acts themselves, or does Roger Goodell look worse in this for letting it happen and trying to sweep it under the rug to, quote, save the shield?
I think it's equal. I really do. I think New England looks horrendous because of what we just talked about. It's so over the top. I think every NFL team does things to try to get an edge. I think you're lying to yourself if you think that your NFL team is perfect. I'm sure they all do something to get us that little bit extra, and that's probably been going on for as long as the league's been around. But with Goodell, his job is to ensure fair play. His job is to make sure that everybody's on the up and up, and for him to just willingly try to sweep it under the rug and try to turn a blind eye to it, it's unfathomable. He's the commissioner of the sport, and he has failed miserably in his job for the last 5, 6, 7 years at this point.
If this Patriots, cheating culture has existed since Belichick got there, at the turn of the 2000s, does any of this reflect badly on former Commissioner Paul Tagliabue?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's hard to say how much Tagliabue knew. I mean, maybe he knew some, maybe he knew a lot. It's so hard to say. But Tagliabue certainly was a good commissioner, but he wasn't perfect either. There were a lot of disciplinary issues when he was there. The NFL really didn't address a lot of things. And, of course, it was different when Tagliabue was there too. There wasn't the social media there is now. Things back then, they got quashed a lot easier because it was just gone if it wasn't in the television or internet news cycle. And back then, the news cycle was just a lot different than it is these days. I think, Tagliabue probably had some inklings of what was going on, but I don't think that he had the knowledge that obviously the Goodell has when it comes to what the Pats have been doing.
So we also read in that ESPN piece that Roger Goodell came down extra hard on Deflategate because he didn't handle this whole Patriots cheating, spying in the early mid-2000s well. So my question is this: if all we've read about is how buddy Goodell and Kraft were up to this point, why would he decide now to try to bring the hammer down on one of his good friends, someone who he was willing to cover up things for just 5-6 years ago?
I think probably the other 31 NFL owners just had it. And I think Goodell felt like he absolutely had no choice but to try to hammer New England. And I think he figured, Kraft would have to kind of play ball, so to speak. And Kraft obviously went on the offensive and was not happy. It's a touchy situation, and it's something really I'm surprised that the NFL owners have not gone after the Pats more. I know they're all in together, they're making tons of money, so they're not going to rock the boat too much. It just stands to reason you think like yesterday or something or today, you hear more from other NFL owners just kind of going after New England, especially owners in the AFC East, and you haven't heard a word out of them.
That's what you just said is the thing that really gets to me in all this. The money that the owners are making is insane. The sport is more popular than it's ever been before. But is all of that really more important than the ability to potentially win a championship, which I have to imagine at least some people think has been taken from them over the last 15 years by what the Patriots are doing? Is that money really more important than competitive balance?
To the fans, no. To the owners, Yeah, probably. I mean, most of these guys, it's a business, and that's the unfortunate part of it. If you're a Jets fan, a Bills fan, a Dolphins fan, any other fan for that matter, I think a lot of these owners, do they really care? Some of them do. I'm sure some of them do. I mean, listen, Jerry Jones, for all of his faults, I mean, that man, he wants to win. I think there are other examples. Certainly, the Maras, the Rooneys, those types of ownership groups. I think that yes, they care. But a lot of these ownership groups, they're not that invested, whether they win or lose. And so I think that's why they won't rock the boat. But at some point, if these new allegations against New England are totally founded, frankly, there doesn't seem to be a reasonable doubt. I think the ownership needs to get together across the NFL to have something's got to change, because it's been going on apparently for 15 years, and it's pretty hard to think that New England's not doing things now. Why would they stop? They really haven't gotten punished very much. Yeah, they lost a couple of picks, but that pales in comparison to all the money that team's made by being as good as it's been for the last 15 years.
Matt Verderame, Fansided NFL, with us. We'll get you out of here on an actual football question. Of our three New York teams, who do you think is going to have the best year? For me, I think it's the Giants. I think even though the NFC East is very good with Dallas and Philadelphia, I think the Giants are primed for a good year. I think the Jets are what the Jets have always been or have been recently. And I think the Bills are a 9-7, 10-6 team. What's your take?
I would say Buffalo. I think Buffalo has a very good defense, and I think with Rex Ryan there, he's not shown to be a great offensive mind, but he is an incredible defensive mind. I think with that front four, Buffalo is going to give teams a lot of problems. I think the offense has talent. The real question, as everybody knows, it's been talked about all season, is the quarterback. And I'm not sold on Tyrod Taylor. I don't expect Tyrod Taylor to be a world beater by any stretch, but I do think he brings a little athleticism to the team. I think he's a better quarterback than Manuel, and certainly better than Castle. I don't think any of the New York teams make the playoffs, but I think Buffalo has the best shot to get there.
Matt Verderame, Fansided NFL. Matt, thanks for being with us.
And no problem, Brady. Anytime.